relations of sovereignty, territory, and water. We also give thanks for the earth we walk upon, the waters, the life-giving plants, and all the earth's creatures, as well as the wind, sun, moon, and stars. We recognize that this is just a first step in moving forward towards right relationship with Native peoples and healing the earth. And Sonja has some announcements to share.
Right, Roy Miller wants to call you guys all to a picnic, concert, cookout, picnic, concert. There's a fundraiser on behalf of the Acton and Stowe Area Interfaith Partnership to support Afghan refugees. There are 7 area churches, including our own FPC. The event is on Friday, July 29th, and it is at St. Matthew's Church at 435 Central Street in Acton. The cookout starts at 6 p.m. The concert goes from 6:30 to 8 p.m. You're suggested to bring a blanket or a lawn chair to sit out. And if it's raining, the event will be indoors. So there is no rain date. Again, that date is July 29th. It's kid friendly, and there is a suggested ticket donation of $10 for adult and $5 for children. Please see Roy Miller if you have additional questions. Also, a second announcement on, as many of you know, I am co-chair of the grounds committee, but I am also designing a memorial garden with the Memorial Garden Committee. I just sent out a FPC announced yesterday that we'll be doing a volunteer day for helping out there and getting dirty with dirt and moving some landscaping on July 30th from 9 to 11 in the morning. The rain date will be the following Saturday at August 6th from 9 to 11. But just come to have fun. We have 2 SGM groups that are already signed up for doing some work around July, so it's going to be exciting to see some things taking shape this month in preparation for some fall planting. If you have further questions about the Memorial Garden, I invite you to visit the website at the Memorial Garden link, there are offers of what the service the price points are, and I did put in the note that we're going to get our estimate back from a revised estimate post-COVID for the implementation of the granite. So do note that the prices for the offerings might be going up end of September. So if you are interested in memorializing a friend or family member within the garden, I suggest you do so before then to take advantage. So I'm going to do a call to worship with these opening words by Lindsay Bates. Come, let us worship together. Let us open our minds to the challenge of reason, our hearts to the healing of love, open our lives to the calling of conscience, open our souls to the comfort of joy. Astonished by the miracle of life, grateful for the gift of fellowship, confident in the power of living faith, we are here gathered. Come, let us worship together. And Marcia, if you wouldn't mind lighting the chalice, and if in the order of service is our chalice words that we'll say together. Be a lamp to yourself, be your own confidence, hold on to the truth within yourself as to the only truth. And if you would stand, if in spirit, or if you are able, to sing our opening hymn, Just as Long as I Have Breath. Afterwards, we will share our covenant and affirmation.
I must
is the spirit of this church and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. From all that dwell below the skies, let words of love and peace arise. Let joyful songs of praise be sung through every land, by every tongue. And now we're going to share joys and sorrows, so you may be seated. Sorry. Well, we hold all of these joys and sorrows in our hearts, and for those spoken and non-spoken. Now we move into prayer and meditation. I invite you to either use your order of service or open your books to 603 for our responsive reading. I will be reading the regular text, and if you would read the italics, together we can share this. Responsive reading called Beyond Words by Lao-Tse. Existence is beyond the power of words to define. In the beginning of heaven and earth, there were no words. And whether we dispassionately see the core of life or passionately see the surface, the core and the surface are essentially the same. If name be needed, wonder names them both. Marcia, if you would announce our sharing of gifts.
This summer, we share our weekly plate offerings with 3L Place, which serves people with developmental and intellectual disabilities, the Cultivate Care Farm, and the Maynard Anti-Racism Alliance. More information about each of these is available through any member of the Social Justice Task Force, and information about ways to donate is also on the back page of your order of service. And your offerings will be gratefully accepted today.
The words for this offertory song are not in the recording I found, so they are in your order of service or in the hymnal under 34. It's okay, Hector, you're doing great. Oh, I may speak with bravest smile and have the gift to all inspire. and hopeless gain. Oh, I may give all I possess, and striving so my love profess, but not be claimed my love within, a prophet's turn strangely thin. Come, Spirit, come, our hearts control, our spirits long to be made whole, that inward love guide every deed. By this we worship and are free. Thank you for indulging me with that slow pace. So I am here to talk to you about the power of no. No, regardless of gender, ethnicity, I can't even say the word, and or sexual preference, everyone has faced a wall of no. Today, I want to share my personal journey with no, its imposed limitations, how it has empowered me, and how today I view it as the ultimate key to my personal freedom. I ended up going to music university for many reasons, but mostly because of my inability to say no. I had and have a great voice, the inertia of which was far greater than my ability to even ask myself the question, what I wanted to do, what university I actually wanted to go to. Didn't even ask the question. I remember an art teacher, Miss DeConey Moore, I will say her name for my sister's benefit, who asked me, hey, it was junior year, and she was just like, hey, would you consider putting together an art portfolio? And she waited just a beat, and everything inside of me went, oh, wow, that's even possible? And then she spoke, and she said, oh, no, you're going to music school. With that moment of, there's a possibility that I could not go to music school? Like, whoa. And that got me starting to think and starting me to wonder, like, where would I want to go to university? I remember talking to my, and it got me to thinking. And what I thought about was that I wanted to be an engineer, hence the shirt. I remember talking to my father, an engineer himself, about submitting applications to engineering schools. It took everything I had to even bring up the subject. But this time, seeing my father completely blindsided by even the thought that I didn't want to sing, it was me who reneged. It was me who spoke into that silence and said, oh yeah, I guess I could do engineering school after music school. I didn't even give him a chance to respond. So I walked away from that wall, that limitation of not being able to be an engineer, and accepted that implied no. I felt unseen, unworthy of being an engineer, but yet I also felt ungrateful how many people would talk to me about, oh my God, if I could sing like you, oh my God, that's wonderful. And all these, like, how ungrateful was I not to go to music school with this amazing gift that I was given? And I felt uncertain about, like, well, maybe everybody else is right. And maybe, like, I'm just being weird about this. So college was a revelation, and I learned much about what I was capable of and what I like. By the way, all my friends were engineers. I went on to New York City, had some success auditioning and getting work in theater, but my more promising job offers were from all the temp work that I was doing in business, from MCI and Ernst & Young and these high-powered people going, yeah, we want you to work here. And I'm like, what? Like, I was like mystified. So I realized as I was coming into after college and, you know, having my music teaching experiences, et cetera, that this was a wall I couldn't walk away from anymore. That music was something that I wasn't for me, and I needed to find my way to what was for me. But I also realized there was much I could take with me. So I started in small companies, basically improving my way through figuring out what I was doing, because obviously I didn't have any education in business. I didn't have any education or structure of understanding technical things. I just dove in. I remember many a night having my husband help me memorize acronyms for technology terms, etc. So each role strategically bringing me closer to technology, and until I broke through the wall. I was an engineer. I had arrived. So my first pure engineering job was for Lawson Software. At the time, that was, well over 15 years from now, ago. And I come onto this, and I'm trying to get you to picture, and one of the reasons why I wanted the tech initially was because I wanted you to see the picture of the farm of cubies. Because if you've never been on a huge space that's probably 3 times, 4 times bigger than this sanctuary, all with mini cubicles of these sort of half walls with little desks. And, you know, people, you know, get up, if you've ever seen Dilbert, you know, they get up like prairie dogs and look over the cubes or whatever. So this cubie farm with 200 people. And I was the only female. The only female. So I arrived there, I come in, I'm all eager, I'm like, I'm in the door, I'm behind the wall, I'm finally here. And I'm so excited to be there. And then the head of the office asked everybody to come over because it's towards the ends of the quarter. And he has a glass of whiskey in one hand and a cigar in the other. And he's pacing down the side of all of these cubes. And everybody is sort of leaning over their cubes, watching him while he is speaking loudly and swearing profusely about our numbers and our lack of ability to get things done. So I'm sitting there, and then all of a sudden, somebody next to him, I hear him, and he goes, oh, he finds me in the crowd and goes, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize there was a lady present. Of course, I said something piffy back to the point of, I don't care, dropping a swear like a sailor. And he was like, pointing a cigar at me, I like you. So I had arrived, and I had been accepted as being okay to be there. But even though I was through the door, I was still telling myself no inside. I had this desire to belong. I was on the team, but what did I have to do to stay? I had this restless desire to prove myself because I was uneducated in engineering. I was doing things that were beyond my skill set, but diving in with, you know, just making it work. So like our opening song, I was saying yes to everything. So I was saying yes to everything, but realized that it was unsustainable, right? I was saying yes, I was drowning, I was traveling, I totally needed work-life balance. I started to then started like, oh, well, if you ask me to do this, then I can't do that. And trying to figure out how I can, well, geez, I have this personal commitment and bartering, but I was still not being heard or valued. To give you an example of this, I remember being in New York City in this huge building in the lobby, and we had a team of people from our company, and we were going into this very important meeting. And I, for once, because it was such a big deal, I usually, the smaller accounts, I usually show up only when I'm presenting, but this was such a big deal. They bring the bus of people and everybody. So I was there, but I wasn't the main person I wasn't the one presenting or talking or leading the technical discussion that day. I was just supposed to be, parsley, right? Like there to answer a question or color or something like that to something that we had talked about earlier in the week. But the technical person that was supposed to do the meeting didn't show up. I don't know why, they just decided not to come. And then all of a sudden the executive's looking at me saying, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to pull this up, and I'm like, what is going on? And of course, everything inside of me is saying, no, I can't talk about a technology that is not me. Like, there's gonna be 20 people in this room that know a hell of a lot more than I do, and this is beyond improv. I can't improv my way out of this. How am I gonna do this? And I'm saying, no. And he's like, well, there's no I in team. And I'm like, there's also no you. There's no you in team. So you is me, I'm not you. But of course I did the meeting, because although I was saying this is crazy, I did the meeting, I got through it. We did close the account miraculously, which just makes them think that they can ask me more. But I realized that being the you was a trap. Saying yes all the time was a trap. You had to say no. And it actually came to me starting to have an affirmation. My affirmation during that time was, I have choice. I have the right to conservation, and the truth will set me free. And I know my family is probably smiling because they've heard me say that many times. And it was, came from, and I was working on that, right? And trying to do that. But then it came with a realization when I finally had an event. It was my mother's birthday. And I had taken the day off, so we were gonna do this big party for my mom. And the work came and they were like, we have this big meeting, you have to be there. And I was like, no. And it was suddenly really easy to say no. It was my mother's birthday. I wasn't gonna miss my mother's birthday. It was a line that I didn't falter on. He offered to pay for an entire event for our family on a different day. He offered so many different things, and I still said no. And then I realized I never say no. I can't even say it. Before that moment, I never even said no. I was bartering, I was doing stuff, but I realized that even saying the word no was wrong, it was bad, it was not allowed, especially in maybe, some people will agree with this, it's really hard as a woman to say no in business at that time. It's so much easier now. I have to tell you, I went to the Boston Women in Tech, and hearing some of the younger generation speak, it was breathtaking. And I encourage any women that have been in there to adopt instead of us mentoring them, allowing them to mentor us with how we interact with work, and how we interact with just being who we are unapologetically. But there was the other side to know, that you have to actually understand that there was a get with not saying no. When somebody's asking you to do something, I felt valued. I felt that, geez, I'm the only one who can do this, right? Looking there in that lobby at all the other technology people, the executive knew, and I knew that I was the only one that I could pull off this meeting. And there was an immense value and pride in that, to push against you even saying no. So I practiced. Let's see how you do with saying no. I'm going to ask some questions, and you're all going to say no. You can't say anything else. I don't want to, just no. Okay. Do you like the color blue? No. Do you like your neighbor?
No.
Will you help me move for 4 days?
No.
I'm in a bind. Can you care for my child? Someone you care for asks, will you marry me? Do you like this sermon? Hey, none of you said it. No, say no. No. What I discovered is I wasn't alone. Many people deflect. Many people feel uncomfortable with the thought process of saying no. So what I started to do was to help myself. I started creating passwords, just say no, this type of stuff, so that, when technology, you have to log into things every 5 minutes, right? So all my passwords were some version of no. I got myself a no button. I encourage you all to get one.
No, N-O.
So you literally make no a joke, get it to be lighter. It's not a bad thing. It's funny. It's funny. No can be something different. I also realized that I actually have to value myself to be able to say no. It was very easy to say no for my mom because I value her. It wasn't easy to say no for myself because I didn't value my own time. I didn't value me. So the other part of that is that I have to be honest with myself. You have to actually understand what to say no to, what to say yes to, etc. You have to know yourself. I have choice. I have the right to conservation, and the truth of myself will set me free. No can be a freedom. No can be weightless and a simple self-expression of choice. I don't know if it was the Tao Te Ching with its discussion on things not being good or bad, but just being, or if it was Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance by Robert Persing, with its discussion on quality being a path to madness, that made me realize no and yes were just two sides of the same coin. Did not have to have any weight, any emotion, any judgment, any anger, any harshness, any vulnerability, any tears. No is not negative any more than yes is positive. It's just a choice. There lies the power of no. Choice. A simple yes or no, free from quality, decisions as light as clouds. In our responsive reading, Only Words by Lao-Tse, it stated, words making these seem different only to express appearance. If name be needed, wonder names them both. From wonder into wonder, existence opens, end quote. I invite you to play with that. If yes and no are interchangeable, from yes into no, existence opens. From no into yes, existence opens. Saying yes to my desire to be an engineer led me on a journey of wonder, achieving things I thought not possible, but utterly broke me before no was able to come out of my mouth. Learning to say no and freeing it from reactive emotions has helped and continues to help me create inner walls, to create space inside myself for those desired yeses. That space is a gift. In that space, I continue to discover the truth and wonder of my inner voice. I still struggle with walls external and of my own making, but know that truth is leading to more personal freedom every day. In closing, I would like to thank the worship committee for the opportunity to share with you my personal journey with its choice and conservation. I hope it helped you gain some insight into the questions of your own relationship with no, and also help you realize how utterly transformative doing a service for this church can be for yourself. As you see, this is the second time I've started crying in front of you. I'd like to close with the closing hymn, Blue Boat Home, a song that speaks of journey with hardship and questions, but kindred spirits seeking harbor together.
Standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Sun my sail and moon my rudder, as I ply the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls, making our way by the lights of the heavens in our beautiful blue boat home. Thanks to the waves upholding me, hail the great winds urging me on. Breathe the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. Wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home.
My nebulous for my dad.
A blue boat home.
Closing words and then followed by our benediction. Go in peace, live simply, gently at home in yourselves. Act justly, speak justly. Remember the depth of your own compassion. Forget not your power in the days of powerlessness. I'm forgetting how the benediction starts. Okay. Pe- Peace. Oh gosh. Yeah, I did go to music school, but this is kind of funny. Peace be with you till we meet again. As life lays its task before you, keep love's banner floating o'er you. Peace be with you till we meet again. Thank you.